Now, we can treat stress by nutrition. We can treat stress by laser therapy, chronotherapy using the light, especially the vago blue light or the yellow light will take stress away. It's a new dimension in medicine. It's never reached Nigeria or Africa as a whole at the moment. This is where you have red light to take care of high blood pressure. And then you have the chiropractic manipulation of the spinal cord, which of course, because we have a long sitting hour in the civil service, it becomes irritated occasionally. We are prone to have hemorrhoids because of long sitting, and we are prone to have backache, and at the same time to have stress because the spinal cord is irritated. Now, in the acupuncture, I wasn't able to make copies enough, but I think the government will make enough copies for people that are interested on the stress with acupuncture. You have about 11 or 12 points. You can use your biro. You can use a dull point biro that hasn't got any ink, needle, or the biro. You find that the pain will be going gradually. There are other points on the tip of the shoulders, and then we have a place called the yitang, which is just the center here. When I keep telling people that nature has provided all information, medical information, we don't need to is the controller of dosage. Nobody else has got dosage but him. If you stretch your hand, your two hands, that's your height. And you can quote me. You don't have to take any measurement. Stretch your hands and let them just take that measurement. That is your height. And then you can stretch your two fingers, that is 6 inches. You can fold it, that is an inch. There's a half an inch on each finger, except the little one. So you know that he has got all the messages. And today I want to tell you that we can now control stress and hypertension just using the two hands, hands, especially the palms and the feet alone, not touching any other body. We will explain that later in hypertension. Now, in the nutrition, or in the acupuncture rather, we have the H3, H7, P6. These are medical jargons in our own language, but don't bother. Those information are here attached for your perusal and digestion. The nutrition, I'm sure that will interest Mrs. Kafaro too. Vegetables such as cucumber, we have them in quantum in this country. Carrots, oranges, plums, fruits of any sort, bitter leaf, Garcinia cola. Please, I apologize for this typographical errors here. Cola, valerian, gelsemium, Osimum gratissimum, that's ephedrine, verbena, just to name a few. You find that all these contain vitamin B complex. Then I'll give you some information on vitamin B complex food sources. That is where you can now find the chemical vitamin B complex, which is very expensive, of course, and you may not, and it has to be imported. If you have your wheat, you have your lima beans, asparagus, spinach, egg yolk, potatoes, the sweet one or the unsweetened, the corn, the grains, the liver, the fish, the nuts, sesame, kidney, banana, cheese, cabbage, carrots, onion, yeast, milk, comfrey, soybean, nut peas. These contain vitamin B complex, either B1, B2, B3, B4, B6. And I will end my talk on stress, but I can tell you that most of the problem we have about stress is nothing but our environment. The environment, lack of information, and pure ignorance. Last time we went to Ikorodu to go and discuss about this water thing. And I was asking a friend of mine today, I said, if we were going to Benin, and it's so hot, and there's nothing to drink, and somebody came out of the bush and said, here is the cold water in a nylon bag. He said, we'll buy it, of course. I said, you see, with your level of education. He said, but you don't have any other thing. I said, suppose he has got that water from the well that people, even maybe where they are passing excreters. He said, he won't know. It is only nothing but ignorance. And the environment, as stressful as it is very important that we try to take it easy. The life is very short. And for all we know, we are going to account for everything that we do, whether you like it or not. Some people say they have hypertension. They have not actually examined their mind. What have I done wrong? To my family, to my wife, to my children. Some people give birth to children, they don't want to train them, they don't want to see them. This will go a long way. There are psychological and metaphysical nemesis that normally go around these people. Have I cheated? Have I duped some people? Some people are prone to have bad information about them. And I tell you, one of the problems that we have that cause hypertension in this country is one bloody gossip. People will just wonder, how come this man comes about gossip? A dangerous cause of hypertension, even suicide. Many Nigerians were killed and psychologically maimed by idle gossip. And this is very common in offices, in government offices especially. Some even commit suicide. You all realize that the name, reputation, and ultimately life may be ruined by the town's malicious idle talk. In the office, at home, at meetings, rumor and gossip is social psychology of hearsay, can cause hypertension and death. Gossip has been blamed for sleeplessness, heartache, indigestion, loss of weight, and personal anguish. In course of our careers in government, institutions of higher learning, media, politics, etc., somebody will try to get a knife between your shoulders. Gossip may be a neighborhood, an office, a shop, a party, where women do their hair, a family, and in all transcend in all cultures, races, and civilization. For it reveals the very dark side of human nature, a side that delights in tarnishing reputation, distorting the truth, and causing hypertension or death to human beings. The information that was mentioned about our government sometimes or years back, it was a terrible gossip that could have destroyed the nation. But thank God, the government is stable. Then you can walk away when people are gossiping and it is very malicious and backstabbing. You don't add fuel to calumniating and vilifying information that is not true. Little wonder then, when our former governor, the fashionable, reputable, respectable Governor Mudashiru, was geopathic stress. Geopathic stress is the result of a very small change in the Earth's geomagnetic field, which through their effect on the human electromagnetic system are detrimental to health. Such geomagnetic disturbances are brought about by factors such as geological faults in the Earth. Stays in that room, he comes back to that problem. So much for stress, ladies and gentlemen. On hypertension, I'm not reading according to my papers. Usually sometimes it flows in the brain, so pardon me. High blood pressure will affect elderly and young people, especially young ones between the ages of 20s and 40s, and takes their life very shortly, and we blame it to witches and witchcrafts and wizards. Sometimes the person may go to work and come back home, have a heart attack and die. But this particular disease condition is a very, very bad one. It's not easily detectable except you go to your physician or to your doctors or to your nurses, who can now take the equipment or the machinery to check your blood pressure and see whether you have high blood pressure or not. But because of the stress of this particular nation, because of our environment, because of lack of health information, because of the frustrations in getting a job after university degrees, because of frustrations in getting husbands when you are supposed to at the age of about 30, these add together to bring high blood pressure. High blood pressure can be genetic. In other words, it could come from any family. Somebody have to have a high proportion of blood concentration and genes of either the father or the mother. Hence, if the father has got hypertension, then that particular individual will have hypertension. So also in sickle cell. This very same thing happens to almost everybody. Men, women, even children may have hypertension, to your surprise. But the problem of sequelae of pathology, ignorance, faulty teaching, and the lack of virtue and morality. In Nigeria, 5 million people, or roughly 1/3 of Nigerian population, suffer political and economic psychological suppression, illness and disease, due to lack of food, proper housing, transportation, and clothing. The cause is unvirtuous and immoral, delayed government policies of past years depriving 40 millions of their constitutional rights and existence. No good housing system, no water system, no good water, no good roads. You bought a new car, and you're coming from either Surulere or somewhere, you get into the ditch, and then your front end is broken, and you've just taken a loan from the bank, and of course and then the panel beater and the mechanic is asking you to pay another 2,000 when you have just got this car. The insurance is asking for money. All this add up, and when you get home on your feet, your wife will ask you, where do you keep the car? And the car is broken down somewhere, I don't know where you've been, but God punishes you. So therefore, all this add up to cause your hypertension. At the same time, we continue to spend millions of naira stuffing ourselves with medication. Take the medication, the manhood, sorry to say that, will continue to disappear, continue to pass into oblivion. You will not be able to function at home well, and your wife keep complaining. You've been having, I don't know where you've been, but it's never been the same again. Now, gentlemen, the high blood pressure we talk about is all over the world. It's not peculiar to Nigeria alone, but it's more common in the black. But who are the people that are mostly affected by hypertension? They are civil servants. I'm sorry, my Director General will be listening. They are Director Generals, they are commissioners, they are secretary to governments, they are presidents, they are housewives, they are everybody, because of so much stress and anxiety, because of lack of fulfillment. Then lawyers, judges, when you give a judgment and you know it's wrong. The spiritual body, you see, we cannot, the homeopathy or alternative medicine talks about the other aspect of the human body, which the Western medicine try to elude. And one wonders why we continue to call God, when we know that the God says, in the name of the Son, please, in the name of the Son, and the Holy Ghost must always exist. It is the Holy Ghost that controls me to talk to you, for you to listen. It is the Holy Ghost that goes away. It is the Holy Ghost that sees us. Everybody has got a shadow now. When the Holy Ghost, your spirit or the metaphysical body, leaves you, that is when death comes. The anatomy is shed on the floor, and the spirit goes away, and there will never be any shadow. The shadow monitors all we do, and that's our conscience, and that will continue to prick us every night we sleep. And when you have done something to get a wrong query to an individual, or you sack him on the job, yes, usually I need about 3 hours for this, but I'll put it to 10 minutes. You find that a lot of stress will come around, and hypertension comes. Now, what are the signs and symptoms? Headache, giddiness, nervousness, palpitations, spots before the eyes, difficulty in breathing, occasional just nightmares, waking up and somebody will lay you in the dream, something is moving in the brain. These are complications of hypertension, or some of the signs or symptoms of hypertension. You have complicated symptoms. Now, apart from left ventricular failure, the arteries may be narrowing down because of our poor food. Then you have heart disease development. The heart may be enlarged. There is exudate, a discharge in the eyes when you don't have any infection. It's a sign of complicating high blood pressure. Hemorrhage, that's to have a tint of blood in the eye. You better go and report immediately before it's too late. Then stroke. Then the legs may be swollen occasionally. Tension, the head is heavy, and then you have palpitating headache. And then you have, fast beating of the heart occasionally, and fear. Somebody just jammed the door and you jump up. That shows that something is wrong with the blood system. Organ that really controls transfusion. Now, if you infuse a patient with a new blood, especially let's take an instance where you have a sickle cell patient. You infuse this blood of a patient who has not got any sickle cell. It is the kidney itself with the spiritual body that will tell you that this blood is foreign. Therefore, in another 3 to 3 months, you must change this blood to the one that is sickled. Otherwise, we could have got the best answer to sickle cell, except you can only get the answer in traditional medicine today. Hypertension, that is secondary hypertension. The one I told you was primary. This one, they almost have the same thing, but because of the fact that the arteries are now getting occluded, and then you have coarctation of the arteries, therefore it causes a sort of terrible secondary hypertension that is dangerous to us. Now, the traditional medicine look at it in these ways. Improve the circulation. And what do? There are so many prescriptions I give here. It believes that you must take care of the insomnia, that is lack of sleep. It believes that you must placate the mind. The mind is most important. Once the mind concedes, then there's no medicine that will not work. Then we are talking about medicine, the belief. Once the belief is there, it's going to work. If the belief is not there, it's not going to work. Now, the treatment, you can see my papers on that one. Then the signs and symptoms, according to traditional medical point of view, you can see the answer to that. The mind. One of the problems in hypertension is disturbed mind, either from work overload, mental and physical frustration on the job, lack of appreciation, even when you have done your best and you say you have not done anything. Backstabbing, calumny, fear, broken homes, threatened abortion, lack of money, no receipt of salaries on time, fear of death, bad dreams. All these disturb the mind or the spirit. Consequently, it raises the blood pressure. Herbal treatment is Cutel, Pulsatilla, Belladonna, Tropaz, Strains, Jasemium, Brownia, Lycopodium, and Aconite. Now, I believe that the head is very much important. That is in view of traditional medicine. Feeling as if there's imminent pulse is hard in the carotid, beatings violently, apoplexy, congestion, giddiness, dizziness, exhaustion from overwork, irritation of the spinal cord due to long period of sitting, lack of blood. You can use Aconite, you can use Vetrios, you can read Nagrican Passipora, and so on. General herbal treatment of hypertension. I will skip that because of the time that's against us. However, the information is back here. Let me go back to the homeopathic treatment, which of course again is very important. It has got a lot of answers for you. The symptoms are the same, but look at this. It says Aconite. Aconite is useful for a patient who has physical and mental restlessness and is in state of fear and anxiety. There is a sudden and great sinking of strength, and his complaints are aggravated by exposure to dry and cold or very hot weather. He has the stitching pain in the chest and left shoulder, tingling in the fingers, and pulse is full and fast. Aconite is the best medication. It's not available in the Western medicine, but we can only give something to calm the nerves. The nerves is not the mind. There's what is called Aromet. There's a sensation as if the heart is going to stop beating for 2 or 3 seconds, immediately followed by a tumultuous rebound with sinking of the epigastrium. The pulse is rapid and feeble and irregular. Aromet is very good. Adrenaline. This one is used in Western medicine also. When somebody is going to collapse, if you give any drug that causes anaphylaxis, or when a patient is having asthma and all that. This one arrests the high blood pressure and is invaluable in checking capillary hemorrhage. It's very, very fast. Arbesa grigia is useful when the music aggravated blood pressure. Can you imagine that the music will aggravate your blood pressure? Or slamming the door, or even the sight of a sphygmomanometer, the blood pressure jumps to 200, 120. As soon as it leaves the hospital premises, the blood pressure is normal. What you can use is Ambra grigia. This is in traditional medicine. Now, there's a Biratamol. It acts admirably in high blood pressure, especially for old people. Conium. This is useful for patients experiencing weak memory, vertigo, with headache, violent palpitation of heart, and irregular pulse. It is well adopted in old people. Cretagogue, the patient feels giddiness, lower pulse rate, irregular beating of heart, and irregular pulse. It is well adopted to insomnia, high arterial tension, and chronic heart disease with extreme weakness. Digitalis. The digitalis again is the traditional medicine that was extracted and it was chemically synthesized, but the origin is traditional medicine. This one is good. It's used in Western medicine also to be given to people who have heart problems. Here the pulse is always weak, irregular, intermittent, and abnormal slow. There's great weakness and sinking of strength. The patient feels coldness of skin, irregular respiration and cardiac irritability. There are ocular troubles after use of tobacco, and the face has bluish appearance. Glonine, the homeopathy sort of cover-up. The glonine is what is called nitroglycerin in Western medicine. It is useful for patients who has no inclination to work. Some people would just not like to work. Go to work. He says, what time is it? I'm sure you listened to the radio. He said, you must go to work this morning and put a good day's work. Some people who have this problem better be placed on glonine. It is also effective for hypertension and people who are dyspeptics. Califos. These people are always tired with slightest exertion and suffer sleeplessness. There is intermittent action of heart. Natromol. The patient has tachycardia, fast heart rate, sensation of coldness, and constriction of heart and chest. It's a good heart remedy. A person suffering from hypertension should have a complete physical and mental rest, easily digestible diet, and occasional fasting. It is very important that you fast occasionally. The patient should be warned to have a prolonged standing and avoiding driving a car with the doctor frequently. He should keep in mind that if the blood pressure is not controlled, there's a risk of development or developing complications. I'm going to give my conclusion. I hope I still have about a few minutes more. The acupunctural point of view of controlling high blood pressure is at the back of page 1. I said you can go through that and read it, and it's very effective. There are things that you have to do. If you know that you want to check your blood pressure, it's not by just checking one part. You must check the hand, the two hands. You must check the pulse. You must do it while you are sleeping, while standing, while sitting, and so on. And if you continue to urinate very frequently, at night especially, you know that it's a sign, it's a natural sign that your blood pressure may be going up, except when you have urinary tract infection. Otherwise, it's going to be okay. I'd like to conclude in this. In the long struggle to achieve mastery over the powerful forces of nature, man has always turned to the plants and animals for help, for food, for shelter, for clothing, for weapons, and healing, and even for relief from hardships of life. Plants provide all these and something more, as astonishing display of vital energy in their growth and centenary rebirth. The chemical material drug takes care of chemical material body of man. The non-chemical and non-material drug, that is the spirit or the soul, we left alone in Western medicine. We have to be able to examine the aura of plants and their leaves, and these are the only way that we can put homeopathy or other medicines into scientific proof. But if we cannot do that, the truth is so vast and comprehensive that any one practical glimpse of it can never be the panacea of all diseases. In this spirit, I believe that we must continue our research into all forms of medicine, because all medicine have been made by man, and man himself is imperfect. Therefore, it is incontestable and elucidatingly clear that all medicines are imperfect. Developmental survival of our own medical system in this country is long overdue. All healing methods should be used to achieve a common purpose by the year 2000, helping a human being to have a sound mind in a sound body, mens sana in corpore sano. I thank you all, and God bless you with his own medicines to heal you from various ailments.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. I'm sure you all agree with me that that has been a very, very...
When we finish, just give me 2 minutes. Take care of it.
Many of you will agree with me that we always read on piece of paper that some diseases are incurable. I want to tell you that language is terrible, demoralizing, and killing. To hear that the disease is incurable is demoralizing, terrible, and killing. There is no disease which is incurable. Why we call some diseases incurable is because we do not know the real cause of that disease. Take for instance, if you talk of hepatitis, liver trouble, your mind goes to yellow fever or liver cirrhosis, degeneration of liver tissue, and so on. But if you go to hypertension or high blood pressure, where you have had many of the symptoms like apoplexy, angina pectoris, arteriosclerosis, stroke, and so other things. It does not mean that the hypertension is caused by a single or the same causes. When a baby is born, if you look at the horoscope of the baby, you will definitely know that this baby will suffer in future from hypertension or even brain trouble. Whereas he has not undergone any stress or economic distress or anxiety to be known. All these causes are latent possibilities in the body. The causes we are now assuming to be the causes like anxiety, economic distress, and others just aggravate the condition. The simple example I will give is that if you have a pit and water is coming from the hill, every morning you go and collect the water, say, I don't want this water, is stinking. And then tomorrow, the water will be there. Until you block the source, you continue to drain the water till doomsday. Well, what our researchers should do is to try to know the real cause of a disease, which is not one. In the case of hypertension, well, you know, it's well shown in the horoscope of a person. When I talk about horoscope, there are many ways of divinating, like astrology. Well, if you find a planet there like Mercury, it will bring hypertension from different source. If it is Venus, hypertension from different source. If it is Saturn, hypertension from different source. So that do not be afraid and do not become demoralized. When the doctor tells you this disease cannot be cured, there is no more incurable disease in the world. Only the sources are not known. The researchers try to find out the real cause of a disease before we start the treatment. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the contribution. Can I have some
happening. And if you go out and urinate, you won't be able to sleep. So by 2 a.m. you are up. Does that answer the question?
The current guest speaker was the chairman and dealt mainly on medical checkup must for public servants. Today we are on hypertension for everybody, stress and hypertension. When the Honorable Commissioner spoke on that, from all implications, it will appear state government may not be able to afford full comprehensive medical checkup for all top civil servants, public servants. I would like to know from the guest speaker if, as a traditional medical practitioner, there is anything that can be done to set up a traditional hospital side by side with the clinic in the secretariat. So that those who do not want to patronize the western side or orthodox type of medicine can go to the traditional hospital. At least one of the main causes is this. You are a top civil servant, you sit on your table, inside they file to you, they say budget. You are going through the file, you get another one, they say very urgent. As you are opening that one, the next one you see, they say very, very urgent. You are not finished that, they say immediate. And not to have another one, they say now. You develop hypertension. In a traditional hospital, I know the same person is a doctor, is a pharmacist, is a nurse, and I believe this may be less expensive for the state government to run. So can we hear the views of the president, please?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. He will take the questions together. Can I have another question, please? No.
Okay, I'm not talking in particular about breast and hypertension now. I know there is what we call incantation. The guest speaker did not mention this in his I have seen a case where I have witnessed an occasion where bleeding was stopped by incantation, and also where the house was burning and those who came to burn the house were casting themselves for some words, and the house, the rapture outside, that burned outside, came in and they burned inside. That no other house around was affected. Please, I would like to know from the guest speaker the place of incantation in your private space. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. Can we have some more questions? Yes, can you come forward, please?
I want to ask a question on the dosage of the herb. Usually it's maybe 3 cups a day, but you don't specify the size of the cup. And you know we have various sizes of cups. My other question is, I've read somewhere that traditional medical practitioners, they stop the plant before the plants are plucked. Is that correct? And why is it necessary to stop the plant?
Thank you, madam. We're having very interesting questions. Can I have the
I'm a student of metaphysics, and I'm aware that the unity of opposites, the essence of life.
Name.
My name is Adelaide Baruku, Civil Service Commission. You're not talking about hypertension, which to me probably means high blood pressure. There are some individuals like me who have low blood pressure. What are the advantages? My second question stems from, at what age can hypertension set in? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, just third question. My name is Director for Agriculture, Lagos State. Now, it doesn't seem that we are examining the cultural perspective of stress, hypertension, and alternative medicine, which is the specific issue we are talking about. So I think we need to look at that with the reordering of our life. Health. Number 2 is that I would also like some kind of enlightenment on stress of the elderly. You know, we're talking about stress when we are still in hospitals, but how about afterward? Because I think this also plays a very important part in our lives. And thirdly, this is a very personal question. I'm not hypertensive, so I don't have a crisis in that life. But is there any relationship between stress and premature gray hair?
That's hereditary. My own question is on if it is possible, then as a child of if it is possible in alternative medicine to reverse vasectomy.
Reverse
vasectomy.
Okay. Vasectomy. Yes.
After myself, a journalist, Dr. Oscar, I would like you to distinguish between traditional medicine and alternative medicine.
Okay, I see yes, please go.
We have asked Dr. Awoshika to tell me whether I have this hypertensive problem. One of the homeopathic treatments you mentioned earlier for those who don't want to wake up in the morning to work. And I believe this becomes that early to bed, early to rise, and late to bed, late to rest. When somebody sleeps this and wakes this, will we identify this one as one of the hypertensive problems?
My name is Bola. May I ask the doctor that is it only women that have disappointment that exposed to hypertension?
I have a question for the speaker. On page 8 of your paper, you try to recommend some treatment for different levels of the mind, of the head, and for what you are talking about the hypertension. But I was expecting that you would mention particular maybe herbs or types of food and all, but what we have here.
Those are herbs.
The gentleman, please come forward.
Some time ago, I was advised to go to a herbalist for this sickness. I went there. The herbalist is a noted herbalist at this other town near Apapa, Ajikule. The herbalist is at Ajikule. He is noted for this sickness. So when I got there, he started to treat me. All I saw was that I was taking the herbs according to his directive. Unfortunately, I couldn't see any development. By the time I got to the hospital, it was noted that my blood pressure was even higher than what it should be. I was forced to stop going to that herbalist. One, what systems will herbalists have to check this type of things? And the second item is that by the time I went back to the hospital, they gave me the dosages that I should take. And immediately I went back to the hospital and started to follow whatever I was given. My body system became normal.
Of this assemblage of experts in what Dr. Awoshika called conventional rather than orthodox. In fact, according to him, conventional or Western medicine is the unorthodox in our own context. I think he's right. For having the chairman, Madam Chairman here, who is trained in Western medicine, Dr. Awoshika himself, and no less than the foremost traditional medical practitioner in this country, in the person of Chief Lambo, to pose this question and seek some clarification. I think the question as regards traditional and Western medicine in this country is simply that traditional medicine is the medicine that the bulk of the people are exposed to. And as the chairman said it in her opening remarks, either
by virtue of affordability or other indices of accessibility, that is what is accessible to them. And there really is no argument here, in my view. That is what is available. So that is the medicine in this country. Be that as it may, we have had this conflict, shall we say, between practitioners on either side. And this is why I say that I want to take advantage of this assemblage to seek opinion as to what the situation is presently. What is the status of the conflict? Where are we? I read somewhere here in this magazine, Alternative Medicine, that Dr. Professor Olikwe Ibansokuti, the Honorable Minister of Health, is now convinced at last. So where are we between the two? I think it will be very informative and very useful to have that clarification from this august body. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think I will take one.
As I said, traditional medicine is the medicine of the people. It is orthodox to us, it is affordable to us, it is available to us, and it is useful to us. The problem is that when we are trained Westerly, we have been indoctrinated psychologically to accept the principles and dogmas of Western medicine, pure and simple. Then we have left the university to the idea of or principles of inculcation of those materials, and then refuse to develop our medical system. Traditional medicine has been existing millions of years ago, as old as man itself. If you remember the Garden of Eden, that's how long traditional medicine has been. And traditional medicine has been left undeveloped. They have vilified the name of traditional medicine, they have castigated it, they have backstabbed it, they have calumniated the integrity of traditional medicine, and they have refused to accept the principles and dogmas of traditional medicine, in which, of course, Western medicine actually originated from. An example of your aspirin today, irrespective of all clinical information that we have, originated from traditional medicine, which is called the cinchona. It was discovered in 1826 by a reverend gentleman who was using this drug homeopathically in those years to treat patients of high fever and all that. Ephedra sinica is a plant in which your ephedrine came from. During the process of synthesization, then it was actually originally meant by nature to lower the blood pressure. But because of chemical combinations and extractions, that aspect of the plant eluded the scientists, and it was used as something else. It's used in asthma and so on. Now, the ephedra sinica is still there. You can use it to lower the blood pressure if it is used in its natural form. The question I've not been able to have the opportunity to discuss with people that are trained, particularly Western medicine, is that how do you treat a patient when these drugs and equipment are not available to you? If you're able to answer the question, then you'll find that we shouldn't be talking about traditional medicine. But if you are not able to answer the question, if you are not able to make blood with all these sciences that we say we have learned, if you have not been able to change the water in the system, because you still have to continue to replace this blood, you have to replace this water. And nature has given us so many types of water. It was meant for a purpose. Your rainwater will stop your palpitations. If you get the rainwater, don't allow it to get to the ground. Put the plate or the pan and let the water rain on it. It drops on it. You take it your fasting palpitations, heartbeats will slow down immediately. This, I don't know that I will come across this question, but it's quite interesting. This is a snail. And everybody thinks, because, well, I want to see the scientific proof. You are wrong. Nature doesn't want you to know the science of this. Now, when you don't give it water, it has a sheath on the face of it after about a few days. It's telling you that it's trying to cover himself up and it's trying to give you certain medicine. Now, that sheath alone, pick it up from about 4 or 5 snails, add equal amount of salt into it. When your palpitations is so intense and your head is heavy, just take a small lick of this. In less than 2 seconds, that particular stress, heaviness, palpitation will stop. The volume of water you are going to extract becomes more. And you will just plug this place off and you get the bluish water that comes out of it. We are ever grateful to the military governor and the commissioners and the director generals. However, this money, when everybody gets their own, very easily, it's been very difficult to get our own. It is during this time that the governor gave us money that they asked us to move from the board of traditional medicine, where we are supposed to set up a traditional medical clinic, which we have told the public that we are going to set up. So it becomes again very difficult for us to do those plans that we have projected. So we are appealing to our government that has given this money and those people that are supposed to implement it to please, if they are going to move us, let them move us now. And let this thing develop, and then let the Honorable Minister of Health look at this, that this is our medicine. Some of the boards that are supposed to have been set up has not been set up in other states. There are a few of them that are existing now, but they don't have enough money. But Lagos State government is registering those people that are qualified. And with Mr. Ujuba's question on stroke and hypertension, I'm sorry that you developed this, because this one leads to the other. The difference between Western medicine and traditional medicine is that Western medicine is expensive and it has a lot of side effects. Traditional medicine has got little or no side effects. Alternative medicine, little or no side effects. That's the difference. And it's affordable and it's available. And if we want health for all by the year 2000, we must project that medicine so that it can reach everybody. It's unfortunate that the BP developed, but there are so many parameters. I will take this question with that of Mrs. Sadeyama of the General Hospital. The BP, you don't need that instrument alone to check your blood pressure, for God's sake. If we are in the bush and there is no stethoscopes and there is no sphygmomanometer, before you went to school as a nurse, you should be able to know when the blood pressure of anybody rises. One is going to complain to you that it's having headache. 2, you can see the eyes are tensed up, it's unhappy. There's no way you can see a hypertensive patient or stressed patient that's going to laugh easily. 2, you are going to take the pulse. 3, these are physical things that you check. Ask the patient to open her tongue or his tongue, you will see 4 on the tongue. If you take the pulse on the femoral aspect of the right leg, or you will find out that it may be slow, it may be too fast, and there may be none. If there is no femoral pulse, it indicates that the person is having a kidney problem. Now, these are simple ways of finding out that this person has blood pressure. If you look at the forehead, you will notice that the veins, will be tensed up. Now, you may have an exudate. The person wakes up in the morning, is trying to rub the eyes to make sure that the thing is clear, and we are actually not having any optic problems. Now, you'll find out that the person will not be able to sleep. He complains that he wakes up at about 2 a.m. and naturally is going to go and urinate. These are ways of finding out from traditional medicine. But unfortunately, you have gone or you went to the wrong person. You see, your blood pressure could be checked And that's what we are trying to introduce in our board. The traditional medical practitioners of today, they know how to use the sphygmomanometer and the stethoscope. When they give you their medicine or concoction, is better than before, it's acceptable. An example is this. This is traditional medicine, mixed into tablets. This is traditional medicine in capsules. This is traditional medicine in capsules.
How about that one?
Yeah, okay. Now, this one, you know that when we eat the corn itself, we throw this away, right? Okay. Next time, try to get some, clean it properly, dip it into an alcohol for about 20 minutes, remove it, dry it, cut it into small pieces, grind it, incorporate it into Vaseline of any choice. When you have muscular ache, apply it into it. In the clinic, I call it touch and go. See, because the pain will go immediately. It could be tried. Secondly, if you have diarrhea, cut it into 4, remove those ones, the sloppy one inside, and you can carbonize it. And as the child or anybody can take it, but you throw it away. And of course, it's going to stop your diarrhea. Now, nobody knows the use of this. If you look at it, you know that it's very colorful. It contains a lot of potassium, which is good for the heart and the kidney. We throw it away. Nobody even knows. You just throw it away. It's the corn silk. The corn silk is very useful in kidney problems. It atones the kidney. It's the only thing in traditional medicine, one of the most important that atones the kidney. Now, yes.
Answer all those questions.
Mrs. Thorpe, that I did not expatiate on the herbs. You see, even in Western medicine, there are secrets. And because if I say Egbesi, you will probably go and look for it. If I say Orowo, Gawo, you try to look for it. And then I don't want to mislead you because it has to be in a certain quantity. And I put in case we have expatriates here, to indicate that we know what we are talking about, I put the Latin word. Now, those things that are there are herbs and homeopathic drugs. And homeopathic drugs are made from herbs and animals. And medicine can only come from herbs, which is plants, animals, or minerals, pure and simple. We'll be deceiving ourselves if we say it comes from heaven. Whether we synthesize it or it is taken in natural form. So much for that. So if you want to have more information about it, I think you can consult us. Lawyer Matthew Benson, Chief Benson, I think I've mentioned that we are setting up, and I'm very grateful that the Director General and the Secretary to the Military Government is here, and the Director General of Ministry of Health is here. They will ensure that in less than 1 month, we will set up this particular clinic. Mrs. Suarez, it is true that the power of word is wonderful. Incantations is one brand of medicine that needs to be researched into. I tell you, incantation can be likened into when you shower encomiums or eulogies on people that are dead, or your parents just call you Omame Akani, Omoluweri, Joe, please help me to take water there. That particular words sort of stimulate you. When you are going to war, they call you different names. When you are institutions of higher learning, if you are brilliant, they call you names. If you are a spirited, they call you names. Those names are very, very important, and they are power of words. Jesus Christ used it, Moses used it, so many people, Zoroaster used it, the Muslims use it, Mohammedans. the celestial people use it. These are powerful words. When the white man calls his own hypnotism, we don't criticize it, and we learn it in the Western medicine. But when we say incantation, they say babalawo ni. All of us are babalawo. In as much as you keep your secret, you are babalawo in Western medicine, you are babalawo in native medicine, you are babalawo in traditional medicine. And even in nursing, you are babalawo too. The incantation can be useful in so many perspectives. I can stop a headache. I can move your headache from one point to the other if I choose to. I can stop your stomach pain at any time. I can stop your bleeding. So much. When a person is bleeding, let the person take the carbonized one of this and put some on that blood that dropped. It will stop. We are a wasteful society. We take things for granted and we throw them away. That's for sure. Try it.
I will get some over there.
Yes. Now, the incantation is useful in delivery of pregnancies or children. You can use incantation to stop bleeding, like you rightly said, and you can cause fire. You can use it to cause problems. You can use it to cause an individual, for example, if a child is proving so difficult, you can use that incantation to cause the baby to be born. Now, if you encounter the armed robbers, you can ask them, please give me your cutlass or your gun. They will surrender it. Yes, but you have to say the word. And you have to know the word. And if they want to cut, we can prove to you that this thing, if you cut through, it won't cut. Maybe in another forum we'll discuss it, and I will show you.
Talking to plants.
Now, talking to plants. In my last speech, I said we need to understand the aura of plants and human beings. There are times they sleep, and there are times they wake up. A good example is, if you want to collect the juice of pawpaw from the tree, if you go there between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., you'll get the water. If you go there at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, you won't have any juice at all. It's gone up. You will drop it down again when it's exactly 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening. There are plants that sleep. It's like a human being. When you sleep, if they ask you to bring something, you might forget. You might go to the kitchen when the thing is right there by your side. So the reason why some plants need to be talked to are the fact that it contains electromagnetic field. Every plant, animals, humans have their electromagnetic field. There's a big plant in Far East. This plant, if you go there, you'll find that it's a big tree. And underneath the tree, you find that there is nothing, no drop of leaf on the floor. It's called Ashori, if you want to know the name. In Yoruba, the stick, the trees is hanging with cobweb. If you go there, animals go there. If they were there, they are going to die there because of the electromagnetic field. It's very powerful. If you are going to remove anything, you go there and strike it 3 times. And of course, you must put something of blood, whether chicken or anything that has blood. It will go up. It will give you less than about 20 minutes. If it's coming down and there is nothing of blood, the person will be dead. Yes, it's that powerful.
The next one. Now,
the next one, the metaphysics. I will give the prerogative to my father here in traditional medicine, who is very vast in occult and the metaphysics. But let me answer mine first. So I'll give Mr. Aduremi Baku the metaphysics on the low pressure on the Mr. Gbenga Shonuga. Yes, this is interesting. You see, there's no way you can remove stress without any cultural milieu. What's the purpose of dancing? Some people, they will say they have to go to the party. It's not because of the fact that they are going to enjoy most of the things there or drink is because of interaction. It's because they want people to be associated with. It's because they want to discuss their problems with people. You can go to your parents and talk to them. You can go to church and discuss. I can tell you that there's so many diseases that don't need drugs. You find out that in most of churches, women are very many. Some of their problems are metaphysical, and it has to be treated as such. And that's why when they are in their wife's sultana, except me and some few people, nobody understands. He goes to church, by the time he claps, it's another person entirely. And it's ready to go on for the next 2 or 3 days until later. So the cultural perspective of going into, watching programs of cultural things in this country is very important. Sitting and watching television of good cultural things, not bringing things from abroad. It's not the issue. What is masquerade? What is Oshun? All those things that belongs to us, let us bring it out. When I was in China, I was so impressed about what they do there. They don't believe in all these Western things. They believe in their system. But here we just believe in those Western things. Culture is very paramount in eliminating stress and hypertension. And it is culture that, at least traditional medicine is under culture also, don't forget that.
Stress in the elderly. Now,
the stress in the elderly, you see, as you have stress in the young person who wants to be successful and is not making it, who went to the university and got PhDs and MDs and hasn't got a job. It's also as bad as the elderly person who sees himself deteriorating every day. Mental deterioration, physical deterioration, psychological deterioration. And at the end of the day, this man looks around himself. He's only given the pittance of money as a salary. He's retired. Even by the time that the person is retired, it's almost finished. And that happens in civil service. If you are retired in the civil service, believe me, you can hardly make it again, because they have used the best of you. And that is why it is important to make sure that you don't kill yourself. You have to do the day's work, quite all right. But please, you only have one life to live. Now, yes, you see the vasectomy that you talk about. Nature doesn't want to. He has given a sealed stuff, sealed body, sealed animal, sealed plants. How do you revert the vasectomy that you did on a purpose if something is, it's not like the woman. You block the stuff. It's like, if it's going to be reversible, it's going to take a long time. If you tie it or you cut it off, you may not be able to replace it. The Western medicine do not confirm that sooner or later you are going to develop the fibroid again. So once you open nature's work, you may be the best surgeon in the world. It will not all go well for that patient. But most things, some of the disease conditions necessitate surgery, and you must go through it. But you cannot be the same again.
The difference between traditional and alternative medicine?
Western medicine is part of alternative medicine. Alternative medicine contains so many conglomeration of disciplines. One is herbal medicine, 2 is acupuncture, 3 is homeopathy, osteopathy, chiropractic, reflexology, iridology, magnetotherapy, and so on and so forth. There are more than about 20 disciplines, and that is why it's so powerful. That if you try this aspect of this particular person who is under this particular star and it doesn't work, use other means. Don't say that if there's one portion in the lecture that I said, if I say take this drug, you will die of the cure. It's something to just take the pain away or the problems. That is it.
Is it only women that get disappointed, not men? And then
now, this is a very good question. Is it only women that get disappointed or get stressed? Like I said before, women are like petals of flowers. They're very delicate. They are our mother. a woman of about 14, when he has gone through the age of menarche, you find that he has got all the experiences on earth. He has carried the war problem on herself. And I hate our men for their apathy in this country. And I congratulate the First Lady of this country and the First Lady of Lagos State presently for their innovation, for the challenges they pose to men. I used to have a classmate in my university when I was doing the first degree. This lady, as a matter of fact, I created hatred because I was on the dean's list. As soon as I met this lady, she was my problem. It's either she exceeds me by 5, or I will try as much as possible and equal to just have the same balance. So at the end of the 7th year, and I call her, I said, what the hell, what are you using? He said, what are you using too? I said, but, and you have got 3 children. He said, yes. I said, well, how do you make it? He said, well, what time do you, I will stay in the library for, so long, and you just come for 3 hours and you make it. You see, they have got what it takes. If a woman is allowed to head this nation, I think our problem will be half solved.